and Cards and Girls.
And what a great album, from Langley Park to Memphis. Oh, exquisite, really. There's not many albums you could call exquisite, but that was definitely one of them.
I know, one of the most underrated artists of all time, I think, as well, Prefab Sprout.
Yeah.
So much better than the success that they had.
Yeah.
But I guess it's one of those situations, maybe they didn't have the massive chart success, but for sure the music will stand the test of time, won't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, time again for Ask Kim, where our listeners ask you what they've always wanted to know. Yane Empolbora says, with the last album you released called Here Come the Aliens, it got me thinking, do you believe in aliens, and have you ever seen a UFO?
Okay, well, I think most people kind of know now that I'm the alien girl, and I'm the one that was in her garden back in 2005 looking up at the sky and seeing something I've never been able to explain away. There were a couple of witnesses with me, and we saw something move in the sky silently from a left to right zigzag kind of vibe going on, and the local paper picked it up, and someone had sent in something that looked like it was probably some kind of orb. What can I say? I mean, it felt otherworldly to me. It didn't feel like it was anything like a drone or anything of earthly origin. And so, yes, I'm completely fascinated by the alien story. So is my dad, actually. He talks to me a lot about it. My mum rolls her eyes every time he does. A lot of people do, but a lot of people just can't be doing with the conversation with. But for me, it's fascinating. I mean, it's probably since Close Encounters, you know, I just thought, I don't know, there's just, it would be crazy if there wasn't something out there, wouldn't it?
I agree. David Gabler says, I'd like to ask him about her cover of Bikini Hanging On, which I think is one of the best cover versions I've ever heard. Me too, by the way. How did you come to cover the song? And did you ever consider covering any other classic songs in the 80s?
I remember going to our studio in Knebworth. Rick had been there overnight trying to come up with a new song, and he kept going back to these chords, and he knew that they were hanging on chords, and at that point we just said, well, why don't we do Hanging On? I hadn't listened to the song for a while, hadn't heard Diana Ross and the Supremes version of Vanilla Fudge, or any version, for a long, long time. So I was able to go into the studio with a very fresh approach to singing the song, and of course Rick was the same. He didn't listen to the records either, he just kind of reinvented the song, really. And so much so that we got an amazing telemessage from Lamont Dozier, who completely loved our version of the song, was over the moon that we'd done this crazy new version. So that's the greatest compliment, really, one of the writers of that song.
Yeah, we sadly lost him last week.
We
Such
did.
a shame.
Yeah, really, really sad, and I'm so proud to have him as part of my story. I mean, you know, it was #1 in America, and it's a great song.
#2 here. Do you know who kept you off the #1 slot here?
I do not. Do you know what, Gary? I get asked that question sometimes. Like, who kept you off the #1 slot? Because that happened a few times.
Yeah, I would have thought you'd have remembered. It would have been inbred in your brain.
No, because I was so grateful to get to #2. I didn't even worry about a #1.
You see, that is the perfect attitude in life.
Yeah.
It was Berlin.
Oh, well, what a great song that was.
Yeah, Take My Breath Away.
Yeah, beautiful.